Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Gaming Gone Weird. Today, we're about to go ape crazy, man, because we got a jam-packed episode for you guys. This is episode number 59. Like I said, man, Gaming Gone Weird, the podcast about everything gaming news and weird games that we like to highlight throughout the week to show you guys, to maybe put into your backlog, or games that you've never heard before that you'll be interested in. On my right, we got my main man, the peanut butter to my jelly, the icing to my cake. You guys call him Ghost Stories. I call him my best friend, Peter. Peter, welcome, man. Welcome to another week of Gaming Gone Weird. Love to have you back, man.
It's good to be back. It feels like I missed last week, but I didn't. I feel like I've been on a hiatus.
No, but like you were kind of off your game last week, so I could kind of understand why you feel a little bit off.
I felt like I literally never had a better episode than last week. That's how I feel.
Last week, that episode was hot. You guys absolutely killed it that last episode. So yeah, last week we felt hot like a coffee pot.
Awfully
hot, like a hot coffee pot. But we're not rappers. Ghost Stories, what's up, man? How's the weather treating you, man? It snowed here.
Did it really?
Yeah, we had
officially cold.
Snowy trick or treat, man. Snowy trick or treating.
It's officially cold. There was like a little like fake winter that was for about a week where it got hot again, actually, like low 70s. But today it was cold from start to finish, which I'm very excited about.
I'm excited. I'm excited because it's like I can't really act like that because every other episode I'm like, man, I'm excited that it's cold. But then when that snow hit, man, I was like, yeah, it's time to bunker down. It's time to end trick or treating earlier.
We don't have any snow. I mean, like we've had snow. It's not real snow. It's not like north snow. You know, snow in the north is what I'm saying. So it just gets cold and everything dies. But yeah, I want snow, dude. I want the bunker life. I want to bunker down for 2 weeks.
Sometimes it's very nice because you know it snows and you're like, all right, man, this is perfect. Like, let's get the heat going. Let's get the crock pot going. Let's get a game in. Like that's exactly how I feel. But when you live in Ohio and you have it consistently, sometimes you just get a little bit tired of it, man. But dude, yesterday was sweet, guys. I actually took my son trick-or-treating, which is a very nice moment. I wish I had a picture of him, but he was Steve from Minecraft. For all you you game lovers, man. He had his diamond armor on, and he had his diamond store, and his boy went with him too, and his boy was actually Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles. Personally, I love a good Donatello, but I respect the kid for, picking the leader role of the trick-or-treating group.
That's pretty sweet. How long did you guys go trick-or-treating for?
About an hour and a half, and then it started snowing pretty bad, and we just decided to call it a day.
How'd he do?
He did really good. I would say about half a bag, like off an hour and a half. I'll take it.
Did you guys use the pillowcase?
So let me know in the comments down below if you guys are a pillowcase method. I was a pillowcase method.
I was a pillowcase method. Is that a generational thing? Okay.
I don't know. I was a pillowcase guy. Leonardo, he had a pillowcase. My son, he had a bougie old Halloween bag. I'm a pillowcase guy though. Pillowcase, you can hold so much candy. You got the hand method. You could just grapple that thing.
Also, it becomes a weapon when you have to defend yourself from other kids who are trying to take your candy. So, candy sack, also weapon of war, if you will.
Right, man. I told myself though this year or next year I want to start scaring some kids on Halloween, man. I'm sick of seeing these 15-year-old kids with it. Like I saw some 15-year-old kids with some garbage bags. Trick or treat, like bro, you got a mustache. Like if you don't get
trick or treat,
trick or treat, like bro, if you don't.
What are you? I'm just a puberty teenager is what I am. You're like, that's terrifying.
Ooh, I'm growing up. Ooh. Thomas said cold. It was 52. I wanted to go swimming. Look, I would love 52-degree weather right now. I think I woke up and it was about 29. When you get to like starting your car weather, like it's officially cold, man.
Yeah.
100%, dude. I'm happy that Halloween's over, man. We're getting into a great month of gaming with November. Like, I say great month, like we haven't just had the greatest year of gaming possible, but we got November. We got some great games coming up, man. We got Thanksgiving. Like, this is it's gonna get hot, man. And I'm talking like we're gonna get like Black Friday deals too. Like, oof, you guys better come prepared.
Yeah, I think just to touch on that, I mean, 2023 has actually been a really solid year. of gaming.
Oh, dude, of course, man. Like, we're probably going to have an episode when I want you guys to participate because I want to make this like a gaming gone weird community thing. Like, I think we should all sit here and decide our list of what we think game of the year is going to be. I say we all, as a unit, come up as a list, not just me and Pete. I say we all decide together what we think is going to be game of the year. So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like as its own episode.
Yeah,
just talk about like all the game of the year options and like pitch arcade. That'd be cool. We should do that.
And we all just sit there and decide. And we all, even if we think Redfall deserves to be in the top 6, and I get the Redfall army to get up there, it's kind of fun.
You and Willie.
Yeah, me and Will.
Because there's no any better.
That's the only people. Like, stop. Like, put some respect, man. Put some respect. Again, I want to give a big shout out to everybody that is here right now, or anybody that's watching the show after the fact. You don't got to watch it live, but if you do, man, you get a chance to interact with us. Other than that, we are on episode number 59 of Gaming Gone Weird. If you want to catch every other episode of Gaming Gone Weird, make sure you guys subscribe to know your news, because then you can make sure you catch us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's been a big accomplishment doing 59 episodes, not missing a week. It's like it's really nice, man. It feels like we're getting so much closer to the 100 mark. And it doesn't happen without you guys. I know last week, kind of to continue off, piggyback what happened last week, we ended up getting 3 members to the channel. And
First ones ever.
I want to say thank you guys for that. So if you guys do want to support extra by just hitting the subscribe button, like, commenting, because that stuff for sure helps. If you guys want to become a member, get some nice little emotes in the chat so you guys could use our faces live. You guys can make sure you use that, hit that member button, and then you guys can become members.
Dude, what if our emotes are just all of our thumbnail, like headshots with all the variations, like you and the scuba head?
Dude,
just all the different variations.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna tell them like make my emote the scuba head. I think that'd be kind of legit.
Yeah, yeah, I think it'd be cool. I don't know how hard that would be, but I think it'd be funny. I think that'd be a good way to do it.
But yeah, I'm excited to be here, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get kicked off with the question of the day. Pete, what's the question of the day today?
The question of the day. You think we've already asked this question? I thought we hadn't, but we might have. Okay. But I can't recall if we had. I was gonna ask: should game remakes be eligible for Game of the Year?
I don't think we've asked it for a question of the day, but I think that's a good way to kind of like kick this off, because we've had a few remakes that are doing really good. Especially
Resident Evil 4.
I think Resident Evil 4 is the one that pops into my head like right away. Resident Evil 4, like I don't think it should, just for the mere fact of if we as a year cannot find a game that is better than a game that is made in the past but just updated on like graphics and story, I feel like that's kind of a loss for the year. I do think that it is nice to have remakes thrown in there, because like you kind of know what to expect from it. You kind of know what you're gonna get yourself into. You kind of know like most games that are remade are already very good titles. They are very successful titles. You don't see them making like Redfall remastered, or you don't see them making like a remastered Golem. Like it's just like, I mean, obviously the games are new. I'm trying to think of like a really wasted
game. Opportunity. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, most of the newer games get remade anyways. So honestly, I don't think they should be, especially for this year. Like I think I can think of probably 10 games that were better than RE4, and that's not even an insult on RE4. That's just saying that it as a remake didn't really impress me as much as like some of the other games that came out.
I agree. I don't think that this should be eligible for Game of the Year. I kind of like that. I think they're partially made because it was so successful. And so they go, hey, we can like remake it and then resell it as a new game, even though it's not a new game. I think part of it's kind of a cash grab. But it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to find something to compare it to. Like you would never remake a movie.
But you would though. Movies get remade all the time.
Oh yeah, that's actually that's a terrible example. So like a remade movie shouldn't be eligible to win Oscar for Best Picture. Like if a movie's made and then you remake it, that remake is eligible for like movie of the year.
It shouldn't be.
Best Picture. Yeah.
I'm saying like Indiana Jones remake game of the year. Listen, when the time comes, all right. I'm not playing Indiana Jones, so I will not be touching on that. The review.
You're not gonna play Indiana Jones?
2000 never. the review is not coming. Honestly, if it's on Game Pass, I'll touch it. But like, that's all I'm saying.
Whatever, dude.
Let me know down below if y'all think that game of the year discussion should have, remakes involved. Because like I said, Resident Evil 4, it sucks because the game is very well made. It's very good. Not many bugs, or if any bugs. The story was great, but it's been done before. It had its time to win back then. Like, I don't think it should have that chance now. And I think that's kind of like where I draw the line. Feel me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't get like. I mean, I get it. I get why they do it, and the game's good, so they remake it because they know it's going to be good again. They're going to make money on it, but I just don't understand why it would be eligible if it was selected and beat out brand new games. It just to me that just doesn't make sense.
I feel like that as developers, like we need to like wake up. But but I'm not saying that now because we're doing good.
Right.
To get into the next topic, I do want to hurry up and get into the kick of things of games that are coming out this week. There are a lot of them, so I'm just going to kind of speed run and like you guys can kind of kick in what you guys are interested in. So the first thing that really highlighted my eyes, Resident Evil Village came out October 30th, and that was for iOS devices. So iPhone, which is very cool. Same thing with the Resident Evil Village expansion. We just got Just Ant yesterday, and that is on Game Pass. It's a game about like hiking. Climbing up like a really big mountain, so that's very cool. Silent Hill Ascension, that came out yesterday, and I really probably should have kept track about that because I was talking about Silent Hill a lot, and that was the game where you get to vote to like figure out like what happens in the like viewers vote on what happens if like people survive or like you remember I talked about that with Coco. I didn't talk about that with you. Blasphemous 2 is coming out on current gen consoles. That is coming out tomorrow. Power Wash Simulator is coming on the Quest, which is very cool. RoboCop is coming out tomorrow for the PS5, Xbox X and S, Switch, and PC. A game that I'm very excited about, Star Ocean, the Second Story R. That will be coming on PS5, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Pete, I think we should get that game. I'm just going to highlight that right now.
Is that like Sea Stars?
Yes. And then a game that we highlighted a little bit in like the past episodes, the WarioWare Move It game is coming out November 3rd.
I have been waiting for this title
yes!
to drop.
Yes!
I've been waited with bated breath for this game to drop.
Dude,
since we announced it, we were so ahead of the curve on this game.
Oh, I still wish I had that clip of that dude with like the long hair and he was just shaking, like everything was moving and then his hair would just do it like a second after. Like he would do this and then his hair would go. Like that kid is a legend in his own eyes. Legend in his own eyes.
One of the titles, Blasphemous. Have you played the first one?
No, but I heard they are really good games. I heard really good things about Blasphemous.
I watched it. It's pixel art, but like highly detailed, like sprites. And it's super gory.
You know how we like those games, though, man. Like Dave the Diver, yes.
But super gory. Like it's super aggressive as far as like kills go, and like there's a ton of blood and people getting mangled. Like I want to play it. It looks sweet.
I don't know, man. Like I think like we love the pixel art stuff, but then also with that though too, it's like I think the pixel art and the blood, like I feel like they kind of go together because if you watch like blood and pixel art, it probably won't even be that scary. It's probably just like okay.
I think part of the reason they did pixel art is to get away with it, kind of. But it looks super dark. Like it's really hard to explain. It's like super gothic kind of, and like a little bit out there, and like some of the bosses are weird. Like you fight a demon holding a baby that's blindfolded. Like it's weird. It's weird stuff like that.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check out Blasphemous too.
You should look at it.
Let me know what
the images
are
haunting.
Let me know what you guys think about the games coming out this week. There's a lot of them. All right, now for some scary news, and I know this isn't a Halloween trick or treat like joke. This is a horror in its own genre. It's not like a horror like scary. It's like scary looking bad. Me and Pete have been wanting to talk about this game for a very long time, and now that we're together, and now that we have some time, we want to talk about a game that it's just we don't know what the heck is going on. Can you kick us off with what game we're talking about here, Pete?
There is a new contender to worst game of the year, something to finally to challenge Gollum, Lord of the Rings, Gollum, and that's Skull Island: Rise of Kong as the worst game of the year. Now, the most offensive part of this game to me is its $40 price tag. Game's being charged at $40. It is basically it's the origin story. You play as King Kong, but it's your origin story. So you start off. We had talked about it. Basically, the story is kind of like Batman. This is basically the same origin story as Batman, King Kong, and Batman. A lot of parallels there, but you travel the island, and it's trying to explain. To my understanding, it's trying to explain how King Kong grew, became huge, but also became super angry and aggressive.
Yeah.
And part of that was the death of his parents. So he took justice into his own hands, such as Batman, or similar to Batman. It's like you basically just fight a lot of enemies. There's a talent tree. You have these, I want to say it was like 5 hours or less. Well, as far as like beating the game in full. The combos are fairly limited as like what you can do. Got like a quick attack, a heavy attack. There's a rage meter. Basically, anything that's already been done is in this game. There's nothing new about it. What would you have to say?
Honestly, the crazy thing about this game looks absolutely terrible, but I was locked in. So I was doing a lot of research before this show. Hear me out, chat. Hear me out. Like, this game seemed like I was watching. I think his name is MK Fire and Ice. Shout out to him because this is the second time I've watched his gameplay. Because the first time I watched his gameplay, he played Gollum. So maybe this guy is just like, we're gonna play the worst games possible to let people know how bad they are. So big salute to him because he's doing God's work and making sure that we get the footage of these terrible games. But I was watching it and I thought it was like it was mere comedy to me. Like I really thought it was very funny. Like I kind of showed you this clip. He is just getting worked by Gaul. The camera angles, they freaking suck. He's obviously like the bushes are blocking any like amount of hope of you attacking anything. Everything looks very just like not good. Like the graphics on like are like this looks like pre-alpha graphics, if anything at all. They definitely didn't have enough time to work on this game, and I kind of wanted to bring that up. Me and Pete were doing a little bit of research on the people that published this game and developed this game. So the people that published this game is called Gaming Mill, and they are more known to like give people like the developers like that are on the team very little information about how the game's gonna go, what is happening in the game, and like it's a big mess. It is a terrible mess, and they like the communication is terrible, the feedback is bad, the working conditions are just they don't have any time to do anything. So that's probably why the game looks the way it does. And I just kind of wanted to also highlight one of the funnier reviews that I saw for the game in general. This is by JT0429. He says, good, it has Kong. Bad, horrible combat, pointless platforming, level design that wants you to waste your time, broken enemy AI, useless combat abilities, lack of any real feedback during combat, hostile camera, general lack of polish, poor visuals, thoughts, alongside its other ideas also being rather poor. A running theme with Skull Island: Rise of Kong is a lack of polish. The game has a terrible visuals, some downright horrendous gameplay, and level design that seems to be more keen on wasting your time rather than presenting you with any interesting challenges or rewards. I think JT got it down to like a science of how bad this game is. Like, I've heard a lot, and this game is just getting terribly ripped apart. Okay, I took that screenshot on purpose, though. I did time that screenshot on purpose. I'm not gonna lie, but it's getting a 23 out of 100 on Metacritic. As you can see, PC Gamer gave it a 15. Gaming Bolt gave it a 20. Now, I guess the question back to you, Pete, is what I do have. Is it hard to blame the game for being bad because it's rushed? Like, do you have a little bit more sympathy for it, knowing that this game was being rushed out by the publisher and it's not so much the development team's fault? Are you kind of just like, hey man, no excuses at this point? Like, what is your feelings about the whole like crunching situation that obviously shouldn't have happened?
I think I have more and more sympathy to the devs because it's almost certainly not their timetable.
Yes.
I think they operate within the timetable that they're required to, probably based on money. I think they're doing the best with the time that they have, and or maybe the team isn't just that good. Like maybe your devs aren't that great.
Right.
All the best devs are going to be working on the best stuff because they can make the most money, typically.
Right.
It's like not. I mean, for example, like the types of games this place, and I'm not knocking people for making games, but just to give you an idea of the level of the game that they're making, they've got stuff, but it's actually crazy the licensing that they have. Like they have access to Nickelodeon. They make Big Buck Arcade Hunter, Monster Jam. Like they have a fishing game, but it's a bunch of stuff that you probably haven't heard of. Street Outlaws 2, Cruisin' Blast. It's just like not Little League World Series. I didn't know
there's a certain level of game
that,
to be honest.
It's a certain level of game, and it kind of feels kind of arcadey, the level of game that they make, and maybe making like what should be an open world, adventure game. Maybe like don't make that. Just like so operate in your lane a little bit. I don't know why they just like this was the route that they picked based on their previous game experience. I get that taking risks is fine and whatever, but this was like so far what it would actually take to make a good King Kong game. This is so far outside of the scope of what they do. I don't get it. But I don't blame devs. I don't blame devs that much anymore. If you have 10 years to make something and it's really bad, like Redfall or something, I probably have less sympathy. But for a game like this, if they only had 1 year to make it, this is exactly what I would have guessed a game that took 1 year to make.
Don't do that to my Redfall ever again, bro. Promise you do not.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, do that. Cut the show. You know the new meme that's been trending?
Oh yeah, the guy from WWE is like,
yeah.
Was that? Oh, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon. Yeah. He's like,
how was it when Redfall dropped? All right, so I need chat to comment down what game do you think is better between Skull Island, Rise of Kong, or Golem? And I'm gonna count to the count of 3, and when I get to like 1, we're gonna shout out the answer of the game that we think is better between the two.
We think is better.
Yes. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Golem.
Yeah.
Golem. Okay, good. Yeah. All right, we on cue. Hey, so it actually did its job of being the worst game compared to Golem. Ladies and gentlemen, Skull Island has won the worst game of the year, presented to you by Gaming Gone Weird. Congratulations, everybody to Iguanabee, everybody that made the game. Congratulations. Let me get a round of applause in the chat. Thank you guys for participating. It's been presented. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Goodbye. Congratulations. You want a year's supply of Little Caesars pizza every time you contact me.
It's $40. $40 for this. At most, this should be $2.99 off the Apple Store.
Yeah, it's not doing justice for me at all.
Really bad. $40 is insane. That's a crazy amount of money for that.
It's a bad price.
That's a horrible price. That's like misguided confidence is what that is. They're like, no. Price it high. People will know it's quality. You're like, don't do it, man.
It's about King Kong in the origin story. Who knows? Is this like
think Batman, but a giant gorilla? Oh, okay, cool. That sounds awesome.
Do I gotta go back to he's terrified.
Okay. Did you also see the clip when he's having like flashbacks when he sees the raptor? Spoilers, the raptor kills his parents.
Sorry if you guys really wanted to play this. It won't happen again.
He sees the flashback and it shows a still image, like a JPEG, and it's in a frame of the raptor as his memory. It's a still photo. And it's just like a dinosaur in the picture.
He's not thinking of the raptor moving. The raptor's just like standing still. Like
but it's in a frame, and he's like, "Oh,
why?"
It's so
Dad!
crazy. It's
Dad!
so it's so crazy.
Oh my
gosh. What a creative. I don't know.
We are in 2023. We are in 2023. Yeah. Let's try and like kick it off with a little bit of some better news, man, because I saw this topic. IGN was talking about this, and I was like, this seems like something we could bring up for conversation and debate. So everybody here hopefully has played Gears of War and knows what Gears of War is. Is it time for a reboot? Because Cliff Bleszinski, he ended up going off in the article about like with IGN, and he says, in quotes, I believe Gears needs a little bit of a reboot like God of War had. And I've always said, if Phil Spencer has my number, I'm happy to consult. So they want to kick off the Gears of War back again. Gears of War 5 was very good, very polished game. You had Gears of War Tactics that might not have been everybody's style, but still was a very, very good game. Pete, what do you think, man? Do you think it's time to like dust off the boots, you know, like get the pen going, get the script going, and get another Gears of War 6 written? Or maybe just like another, maybe we kind of like twist it up with the Gears of War. Maybe we like get some new characters in there or something. What do you think? What is your opinions about the Gears of War reboot?
Well, okay, so Gears of War 6 is coming out. So that's something that is currently being worked on. So I guess when you say like reboot, do you mean like a remake of an older game or like a new game but a different direction?
It's time to bring it into like the light. When we talk about a lot of these games and we associate Xbox with, I feel like Gears of War was like a staple with Xbox.
Yes.
I feel like Gears of War was more put on the back burner. Now you have like games like Fallout that take over, Starfield that take over, Halo that takes over, and different faces of Xbox that you might consider Xbox with, and then you kind of forget about Gears of War because we haven't gotten a Gears of War game in a decent amount of time. So when I say like reboot, I think it's time to make like Gears of War like a mascot or like an image to, okay, this is what I associate buying an Xbox with. We get the Gears of War, we get a great story, we get to see what happens to the Carmines. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think Gears of War 3, when that came out for the 360, everybody had two games for the 360, and every person had these two games. It was Halo 3, Gears of War 2. I think. No, it was Gears of War 3. It was Gears of War 3. Everybody had those two games. Every time you went to someone's house, they had a 360. Gears of War was there, and Halo 3. It was a staple with Xbox. That's actually true. That is the benefits you get when you have an Xbox. In the Gears games, they always have great stories. I'm not saying the multiplayer is like super bad, but I'd rather play just for the story aspect of it. But I love seeing like what was happening with Marcus and Cole and all those guys. Don. It was always a great story, and that was a game that was bloody, gory, great story, great enemies, great, like everything about it was just peak. It was a very good game.
Honestly, very similar to Halo in those terms of like really like lovable protagonist. Like when I say lovable, I mean like I'm fully bought into this character and their story. They have really great campaigns as well as multiplayer. So the multiplayer is super popular. The multiplayer was totally unique to shooters, which I think is another, like, who was doing Gears of War style multiplayer. I'd never experienced stuff like that. Just like Halo, when Halo first came out, totally different. A really, really strong campaign, series of campaigns that can continue into the next games. A lot of parallels between both. I feel like Gears of War is just like the violent version of Halo. It's like Halo's you shooting aliens, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not.
It has
it's
blood.
It's not
it's
like
blood,
violent.
but it's like blue blood. It's not like it's more like I get what you mean. Like Halo is like not on the same.
Everyone likes Halo, but like only your friend's older brother had Gears of War. Like you couldn't have it, but like Steven's 20-year-old brother had it, type of thing. Like
if you had to pick between the Gears of War 3 campaign or the Halo 3 campaign, which one are you picking right now? Halo. I think Halo is better.
I'm a Halo stan. So.
I think Halo was better, but I think playing through the Gears of War campaign was slightly funner.
But I didn't dislike that. Like I liked Gears of War a lot. I liked playing the campaign. Everything felt so massive, and like it was really intense. It was cool. It was great. Yeah. Yeah, I think a reboot. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that means, like, what if they went really hard and just made a campaign?
So I also read that Netflix was also working on a Netflix TV show.
Okay.
So that will be coming soon. We don't have like any trailers or any like crazy news about it, but I know that it is in production or like pre-production. Like it's very early into what they're working on it. But like, I think if they did the show right, because they even did the Halo show, which the Halo show was good for what it was, but a lot of people didn't like love it that much because I feel like it didn't. People have their vision of Master Chief, and that's what they get from playing the games. And they tried to change the story of Master Chief and what he truly was from like video game aspects of what we thought he was to what they thought it was. And I think a lot of people didn't really like align with that. But it was still very good for what it was. I really hope that they do Gears right, because that would be huge for like the Gears, like to get things kicked off again.
And Bautista said that he was trying to play Phoenix. He was trying to be the lead for it, which I thought fit pretty well. Now he's got tons of experience, especially in action movies. So like, I feel like that's not even that big of a stretch.
No.
And like he fits I always felt like the Gears character models were always like huge and like a little cartoony in turn. Yeah, they're big. So like, I feel like that fits really well. I also think that, any video game content that goes from games to movies or shows always has the highest, it's like the highest standard and criticisms from its fans, because people just are waiting to rip apart stuff. So like the Halo show, I was watching, I was like, oh, this is cool. But I mean, it got shredded by the fans, like the hardcore people.
They got ripped,
same with Rings of Power, like Lord of the Rings. I was like, oh, I'm entertained by this, but people hate it. But they think it's stupid, doesn't follow the Lord. You have to change so much to put it on TV for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know why, but always they say they have to change. The crazy
thing is like the Last of Us show does really good, and you know why it does really good is because it's very similar to what the game puts out. Like you could like play the game and then you would like watch it on TV and you would be like, oh, I did that in the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, like I think that's cool and all, but like sometimes it's good to switch it up and have a director's vision of something. They may be able to better it or mess with it a little bit. But
I don't think they can help themselves, to be honest. Like, I don't think a director comes in and is like, we're not going to follow it to the T. Like, I got to make sure I put my spin on it.
They showed Master Chief's face within the first 3 episodes. Or no, I think like in 3 episodes, he was like butt naked or something. Like, it was something crazy. Like, I forgot. Like, he was like, dude, Master Chief was like butt naked by episode 3. And I'm like, yeah.
Did we ever see his face?
I can wait on. Yeah. No, they not in
no
the
in
game.
the games.
No,
okay, that's the problem. They went immediately to like let's show his face.
Everyone's like, they were like, yeah, episode 2. They're like, okay, yeah, let's show Master Chief's butt cheeks and face, and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, I could deal with this. Yeah, this is what I thought Master Chief.
Yeah, that checks out. That's what I thought he was gonna look like naked. So that's
yeah, that's definitely what I thought Master Chief's butt cheeks would look like. Honestly. I definitely like checking out his player model. I definitely thought it would have like a little bit more.
My cousin Chief pretty much looks exactly the same.
Hold on, he's wearing briefs. I always thought he was a boxer guy. Hold on, this director don't know what he's doing. Fruit of the Loom. Master Chief only wears Hanes, Calvin Klein's. You mess with my MC? They make a Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom movie, and Link's wearing like briefs. And everybody's like, whoa.
It's also Batista playing Link. I'm here to save the princess.
John Cena playing Link. It's huge. It's exactly what I think Link would look like, even though I've actually saw him.
John Cena playing Link.
Oh my god. That would be perfect. John Cena, make it happen. He's Link.
Ooh. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think a reboot would be cool.
Yeah. Just kind of sum it up. Yeah, Gears of War is nice. Yeah, Gears of War would be good.
Gears of War campaigns are awesome. I'd play. I'd do that. I'd love like a. They have to do multiplayer though. That's what makes them their money. Yep. So
I agree.
Yeah, I think 6 will do really well. I think they'll all do really well. And then they like try to branch off into different types of games. Like tactics and stuff. I don't know how else you would. Do you even want to get away from what they're used to?
Nah,
Probably not. Okay.
But my question to you is like, we want to get the Gears remake or we want to get the Gears reboot. But the thing is with that is like, we better have the right controller for it because Xbox is cracking down on third-party controllers. They are blocking third-party controllers from being used on the Xbox console. I'm guessing this is due to prevent people from cheating, using things like Zen controllers and everything else. It says in quotes, from the moment you connect an unauthorized accessory and receive error code, you'll have 2 weeks to use the accessory, after which time it will then be blocked from use with the console. Says Microsoft in a support note, at the time you'll receive error code, yada, yada, yada. We encourage you to contact the store or manufacturer where you obtain the accessory to get help with returning it. Pete, you're obviously clapping. You're obviously excited. This is good.
Good for the consumer, good for the player, not good for companies, hardware companies. I do think that there is. So one of the first concerns was SCUF controllers, but SCUF did tweet something pretty recently. They were saying that they got approved as a like an authorized user. That said, those like packs that you can connect to the SCUF controllers that that mod your gameplay. I don't know how you're going to filter that out still, but maybe that's the question for the smarter people in the room building it.
Yeah.
But if you can't beat the software, beat the hardware. Something's built into the. I want it. I'm excited that it's happening. I do fear a little bit that Microsoft is going to charge an arm and a leg to. So here's some other. Sorry. So here's some other potential genres that get affected by this. Fighting games. So they have those. I don't even know what the word for it is. Those remotes that they plug in, they have the joystick and 8 buttons. Yep. That's my concern. Racers as well. So all the guys with the big setups. I don't know how they're going to do that. Maybe they probably all use PCs, but maybe they don't. Maybe they do plug stuff into the Xbox. So concerned on that one as well. But I imagine they'll have some kind of system where you can apply or pay for or something to be an approved vendor. Hopefully they don't charge for it, but I could see them doing like you got to pay your annual fee to be an authorized vendor or whatever.
Right.
Because you're directly competing with them money-wise.
Hopefully they make it easier for they make it a very stress-free, easy way to become like a non-third-party controller because there's a lot of controller brands out there. There's a lot of people that probably make a different controller and they might not be like authorized or certified by like Microsoft or Xbox themselves. And that kind of sucks. First thing that honestly came to my mind in this situation was what if you want to get somebody an Xbox controller? So like now you got to make sure you get them a legit like Xbox brand controller because Amazon has millions of different brands on there. Like what if you want to get them like this gold controller that Xbox may not even have, or it's like a custom controller?
What if you can't afford it? What if you can't? What if you can't afford the $70 Elite controller? You can afford the $20 one, and it's like
right, and it's like
damn,
that
stinks.
Yeah, that does freaking stink. That's the first thing that I thought to me. To crack down on people cheating, I think that's very cool. I would like, and then it kind of like goes back into me saying like, if this is a way to prevent cheating, like I think PlayStation should try to find their way of doing it because I've seen people use Zen controllers and like Call of Duty, Fortnite. Fortnite is returning back to their OG map on Friday. Are we dropping? Dropping Friday?
No.
Using a hack controller on Fortnite. You also like they have Zens to where you could like shoot perfect shots in 2K, all that different type of stuff. Like these controllers.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So the way that 2K works is like you have a jumper in the game. Yeah. And obviously they don't want it. Like if you have a 99, you just won't make every shot. You'll be pretty close because obviously you got to like put in like contested percentage and all that stuff. But like if you have to time your shot from like when your wrist flicks basically, or when you're at the highest point of your shot, and then like it will shoot and it will go in. But the controllers will time it for you so you can get a perfect timing every time.
I really thought this was like only an issue in shooters, but that's pretty wild.
No, you never so 2K is worse than Madden when it comes to pay to win because like they'll like you have to pay to upgrade your character, and if your character isn't at like the place of other people's players, then you're not going to be able to compete in the park or anything. You could grind for your coins, which it is possible, but I mean, you want
so
to make
many
sure
hours.
You want to make sure, like, if your boys wants to get on, you're gonna be like, all right, man, I'm just trying to get on, so I'm gonna just pay for my VC and go play. Like, seriously.
Dang. Yeah. I hope it does some good. I think it will. I don't know what those companies are going to do because if you're like a small or independent controller maker or something like that, you're definitely not getting approved. And so I think it's going to put some people out of business. I think it does probably work to protect Microsoft's money, but if it does prevent cheating, if it's successful, it does improve the life for the gamer, the player, which is what they're going to take care of first, not other businesses.
That's true.
So.
Let me know what you guys think about Xbox cracking down on the controller situation. And now, getting into the next topic, we haven't had one in a while. We're bringing it back for episode number 59. We have a Pieter Reacts sitting with this like
you gotta change the
oh yeah, you're right. I do gotta change it. Pieter Reacts. He reacts. So, Pete, there has been an image leaking a lot. Sorry, let me try that again.
Unique New York. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have like a frog in my throat. So there has been an image floating around of the newest version of the PS5 Slim. So if you see here, we have the original PS5 on the left. We have the PS5 on the right. I wanted to get your first thoughts on the differences between the two. Like, how are you feeling? Like, how do you feel about the PS5 Slim? Because it's obviously very slimmer than the original one, hence the name. I just want to get your thoughts on how you're feeling about the new PlayStation.
I think it's ugly.
Okay. Can I get a reason why? Pieter Reacts.
I think they look like little like box fans or like little air purifiers. I think they look like air purifiers.
Honestly, I think it looks pretty cool though.
Do you?
So I like that it is slimmer though. Like if honestly, like I think the slimness of it.
What do you have? Which one do you have?
I have the one that would be on the left.
You have the one on the left currently.
Yes.
Okay. Is it the same machine on the inside, or is it just a smaller box?
The thing is with the PS5 Slim is it has an attachable and detachable like disk drive disc. The thing is, I also want you to react to is that it is coming out, and PlayStation has said that you are going to need an internet connection if you do want to use the disk drive.
What?
Is that like anti-consumer to you?
You have to be connected to the internet to use the manual disk drive?
Yeah, so like you have to, in order to like get it started and get past like the updates and stuff like that, you have to have the internet connection to like use it.
That's pretty anti-consumer. That's exactly why do I need the disk drive then?
I don't know.
What's the point of the whole point of the disk drive is so I can play the thing without having the internet.
Listen, okay. I think we're getting off track here because I think that the PS5 is doing something great because it's giving you the option if you want to have the disk drive to the PS5, you could pay the extra bit of it, or you could just get the non-disk drive, and then you could just be all digital, and then you could just save money on a PlayStation and be able to get a PlayStation easier. Boom. That's what I'm talking about, man.
How much is it? How much is it?
That's a good price. That's a good price. Keep on talking about why you hate it, and I'll look it up.
I just told you. Why? The whole point of the disk drive is so I don't have to be connected to the internet. The whole point of having a hard copy of the disk is so I don't have to connect anywhere. Now, here's another question. If it's the same hardware on the inside, the only difference is the disk drive, and you're going to find out what the price difference is.
Oh, by the way, the stand comes separate, by the way. You got to buy the stand
separate. Of course.
Separate.
Why would it be included? Yeah, there's no double A's in there either. I know. I've seen the commercials. No batteries included. We get it.
Who the hell uses double A's, bro? This isn't an Xbox.
Every toy from like I don't know when were batteries invented.
So to add the disk drive on separately, you'll have to pay $80 to add the disk drive to it.
Which I still need an internet connection to use.
Yes.
Just like the PlayStation Portable thing coming out.
It's about 30% lighter, if that does anything for you.
Do they make a big version? Do they make it bigger in advance, knowing that they're gonna make a slim version later?
So here's the thing. It is it's actually, I wanted to let you know, it is $50 less than the PC with the drive, or the PS5 with the drive. It is $50 cheaper.
So it's okay. So it's $50 cheaper than the PlayStation 5 as it stands right now.
Yeah. Everything on the inside is still the same.
I mean, they knew they were making this 5 years ago. They make it bigger, and they go, okay, in 5 years, we'll just have the slim version. So they make it bigger, and because they know they're not changing the hardware, and then they can make a small, what it actually could look like from the start, and sell it as a slim. Now, I owned a PS4 Slim. Nice. I got it very cheap. I owned it for like maybe a year. The slim version is very nice to have.
Yeah.
When it's super small like that,
yeah,
it's great.
It sounds 100%. Like a jet plane engine, but at the same time, like I have the Xbox Series S, and I love that it's a little bit smaller. It fits on my nightstand a lot easier. It looks nice. It looks compact. Yeah, I just need to play the games. I just need to play the games. I don't.
You probably should get some reviews out or something soon.
No,
we're waiting.
We know the reviews aren't coming. We know. The chat does.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a money thing. The disk drive to the internet is the most outrageous thing. Outside of Kong being $40, that's the second most outrageous thing I've heard today. That's so silly.
You've heard it here, guys.
And someone's gonna do it. They're like, wow, what a great deal. You're like, what?
Pieter Reacts. Where he reacts. Thanks for bringing back Pieter Reacts, man. I wanted to get your real insight about how you thought. I thought you were going to be a little bit more positive, but I should have thought that wasn't going to be the case. All right, guys, before we kick it off into the last segment of the show, Pieter is going to go ahead and talk about his review on a game that he's been playing. I do want to highlight again, if you guys do want to help support, this is kind of your last chance of doing so. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like, comment. Literally, if you haven't liked, do it now. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Thank you for liking. I appreciate it, man. Share with a friend, because word of mouth is one of the best ways you could get the show out to people. Recommend us for your guys' weird and gaming news across the world. We definitely love talking about it. And we go live 8 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Pete, I want to go ahead and kick it off to you to go ahead and get ready to close off the show. But tell us about a game that you've been playing and what it's about, man.
Yeah, so a game that I just finished last week. It's called GRIS or GRIS. It's gray in Spanish. And this is I would call it a platformer. There's no damage. There's no deaths. There are some collectibles, but really you're just exploring the world. And essentially you play this girl and you lose your voice and the whole color around you loses its color. So I believe that's why it's called gray. So you're spending the entire game trying to get color back into the world. And there are like these elements of evil that kind of lurk around and make themselves known to you. But again, there's no damage, there's no deaths. You're platforming and you're doing some, I'd call it minor puzzle solving. Not as hard as a Cocoon, much easier than that. But the first thing I know about this game, first and foremost, is the art and the art style. It's one of the most, if not the most beautiful games I've ever played in my entire life. It's incredible. The art style, there's so much that's hand drawn. There's like watercolor elements to it. And as you bring color into the world, it will like in real time fill in areas as you explore, which is really, really cool. As far as, like I said, there's no enemies or anything like that, but you do gain abilities over time. So you become able to swim. You can turn into a block version of yourself. So if there's like a heavy wind or something, you can make yourself big into this big square block. You won't get blown away. And it also allows you to crush rocks and other obstacles. You also collect these little stars that are just kind of hidden throughout. This is what you have to collect when you're solving these puzzles. And these stars, when you go to certain areas, if you have all the right stars, it'll build out a little constellation for you that creates bridges and whatnot. So you can get to the next area and things like that. The game took about I don't know, 5 hours because I was streaming it and talking to chat too. But the game took about 5 hours to beat. So if it's on Game Pass right now. So if you're looking for like a little puzzle builder, or not a puzzle builder, excuse me, a little puzzle game that you can beat in a day or two, this is a great title for it. There's no dialogue from anybody. The music is incredible too. So all the music is original, and also as you carry out some actions, the music will combine with what you're doing. So there's certain bridges that you walk across, and every time you bounce to a platform or take a step on the bridge, it'll play a musical note. So it'll do stuff like that. Also, there's some parts of the levels where as you're running, certain lights will illuminate and then darken as you go past them. So it's just like the time and effort that they put into this game, just in terms of art style and illustration, it's incredible. I mean, you guys can look at this yourself. This is from 2018. So I would not have guessed this game was made 5, almost 6 years ago at this point. But with a game like this and with the style it is, really it could have been released whenever, because this isn't a game where you're going to go, oh, the graphics look bad later. Like it doesn't age, which makes it a really good game, in my opinion. Have you played this at all?
No, I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure it is on Game Pass. So I don't think you highlighted that. It is on Game Pass. And I right off the rip, just kind of watching, like giving you my first impressions of what I'm seeing. The art style is great. I do love, like, in this little clip right here, we saw the birds flying around in the background, and it was like keeping pace with what you were moving. And I thought that was very cool to throw in there. Every level has like a different color to it, which kind of gives off a different feeling for when you're progressing through the game. And I really like we had the sea level, which it was mainly just a bunch of shades of blues. And that level you showed, it was like reds, maroons, and it uses its color palette very well. I don't think, honestly, just like watching this clip right here, the camera angle kind of bugs me. I don't like how far we are away from the character, but it uses that to show like a lot of like the actual level, the map, and I'm okay with that for that aspect of it.
Yes, you cannot. That's a great point. You cannot control the camera, and as you enter and exit certain areas, the camera will zoom in or zoom out depending on what they need you to see. So if it's like a big puzzle with lots of moving parts, it'll zoom way out so you can see everything. If you're going through a tunnel where you don't have to solve anything, it'll zoom way in and give you like a very up close image of what you're doing. So that is a part of it that could be bothersome if you don't like games where you can't control the camera. So it does do all the zooming automatically depending on what you're doing in the game. So that's actually a really good point.
Right.
Also, at sometimes you can feel like there's no direction, there's no map. So I did find myself looping a couple different times, just going back to the same spots over and over, thinking I was actually going to the correct spot, but I just wasn't. So that can be a little frustrating. Also, there's no objective over here. There's nothing. It's just the best way I could describe it is like you kind of experience it more than play it, because it's just so like if you get on a big screen and you shut all the lights off and you have a cocktail and you play through,
it's a cozy game.
You're gonna be you're like game. Sucked in. You're like sucked into this thing.
It's a cozy game. I will highlight that this does look like a very honestly, it is on the Game Pass. I wouldn't mind playing it on the Switch. I think it'd be a really good Switch game. Put it up like on the Switch, lay on the couch type vibes, lay in bed. I think it'd be a perfect game for that. Looks very chill. The fact that it doesn't have enemies really surprises me. There have been games in the past that do really have successful games without having enemies and platforming in it. Honestly, if you want to count Cocoon, I don't think Cocoon basically it had enemies, but more of the fact they had bosses, which you could take that for what it is if you want to claim that's an enemy. But throughout the game, it's just basically just
there's no mobs or anything.
No, it's puzzle solving. The whole aspect of it is enjoying the actual world and using your brain to solve how do I get to the next part in the game. The 2D aspect of it looked very cool. I'm just still at loss with the colors. I think the colors look very good. The art style, you said it is hand drawn, and you could tell they took a lot of time into making each individual scene. For the cutscenes, for the level design, everything looks great.
Dude, it's really nice.
This eel is awesome. This whole scene in general, I guess I just really appreciate like seeing this type of art style because it's very unique in its own way, and it does a very good job of being that very good cozy platformer type game. Would you say it was a very hard game? Like, is this something that someone could pick up without like not being very good at video games like at all? Do you think like if your girlfriend at the time maybe not hadn't played a video game before, she could pick it up and play it, or do you have to have some sort of like?
I think it'd be easier if you had a little platforming experience because there are some parts where like there's a part in one of the last sections, the yellow section, where there's a thin line through the entire level, and every time you jump through that line, the map turns upside down. And every time you jump through it the other way, it flips back upside down, but you're not right side up when it turns upside down. So the controls are opposite.
Yeah.
So you have to go in reverse. So there's like things like that where I think it could be annoying if you're like easily frustrated because you have to complete now the puzzles upside down and in reverse, which is a little, if you have a little platforming experience, it would be helpful. But I think if you were really struggling, you could grind it out. It would just be frustrating.
It looks very minimalist too. It doesn't look like it's trying to be like, oh, this is a story with like a million different characters and a bunch of million voiced lines, and like you have to understand a million characters. You're focused on your main character and her basically just trying to get through the level, and you're just kind of picking and choosing how you feel about the level and what she does, and the purpose of the actual game. So, what would you rank it on a scale from 1 to 10?
Wow. I would say
give it the Gaming Gone Weird ranking right now.
For what it is, and not a game that I typically play. I think for what it does and what it is, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. And I think a lot of that is just because it was complete. I had no bugs. The illustrations are amazing, like amazing, and then they animated it and made it playable, which is like just so cool. I think if you're not easily kept engaged with puzzle games, you'll probably quit pretty quick. So you have to like appreciate it for what it is and then go, okay, like I'm going to finish this. But like I said, it's what you see is what you get. It's exactly what it is. It's a puzzle game. There's no deaths. There's no punishments. You can't make mistakes. They don't let you fail. So it's just like a very beautiful experience.
A lot of different puzzles and stuff too that I was seeing too. Like everything had its own little thing that it was doing. You probably won't see the same puzzle twice, and if you do, it's like not that noticeable.
Yeah, each section or each color that you unlock an ability with that color, and then the whole level with that color is using primarily that ability. And then as you unlock each color and each ability, then it starts combining. So in one color you unlock a double jump. And then one color you unlock swimming. So now you have to then the next level, for example, you have to combine all the double jumping and swimming together.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pete. Dude, great review, man. Hey, give a round of applause for Pete, man. He killed that review. Good
It's
job.
A cool game. It's a cool game.
Yeah. No, seriously. I think I'm going to pick it up, especially if it is on Game Pass. I think it'd be kind of cool. But I do think it would be better for the Switch just so you can kind of take it on the go. But we do like our Game Pass games around here.
It's for sure. I think Switch would be better to chill in bed and play it because you can play an hour a night and then beat it in a week.
Well, thank you for the GRIS review, man, and thank you for taking that over. Thank you guys all for kicking it for another episode of Gaming Gone Weird. This has been episode number 59. Next week we'll be covering episode number 60. Starts to a new chapter, it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Because like you get like, you know what I'm saying? You get like chapter 5, which is like, whatever, I'm done.
We're over the hump,
man.
It's over 50%.
You know what I'm saying? Like after 59, it feels like, oh yeah, that feels like a big accomplishment. So now we're at 60, and it's like, it's huge. It's a big deal for us.
It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
Pete, go ahead and kick us off. Tell the people what you're working on and what you have in store for the this week of gaming.
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at Ghost Stories Gaming, and then or not Ghost Stories on all socials. So feel free to give it a goog. Currently working on a Let's Play for Resident Evil 5, first time playing through. Also Baldur's Gate, still working through that, and Sea of Stars. But Resident Evil 5 will probably be the first of the 3 that I finish as far as the Let's Play. Short form content on TikTok, and you can find me on Twitter.
Nice, man. Guys, this has been Gaming Gone Weird. My name is Nicktana. If you guys don't know who I am or what I do, I'm a game critic. I critique video games. I play through video games, review them, and give you guys my honest feedback. I do that on my YouTube channel. So if you guys want to see me review a game, I just got done reviewing Sea of Stars. That's on the YouTube channel. So check out You Love Nicktana on YouTube. Hit the sub. We just hit 500 subs. Huge little milestone for us. That's about halfway to a G, man. So hey, impressive. I'm working on the Spider-Man 2 review. I'll give you guys the Gaming Gone Weird Spider-Man review next week. So make sure you guys come next week. I'll go ahead and kick us off with how good Spider-Man was for moi. So
Game of the year potential.
We'll save it
tune
for
in,
next
tune
week.
in next week.
Right. Next week, yeah, tune in next week. Other than that, man, you guys should check me out on Twitter. I put up a poll on what game I should play next. We do have a poll, so if you guys want to vote on that, check me out at You Love Nicktana. Make sure you guys hit me with a follow to catch all my gaming news shenanigans and picture of my beagle because I love to post pictures of my beagle. Other than that, man, thank you guys for being weird. Be safe. Tell us when you love them, and we'll catch you guys next week for more weird gaming. Later, Gators. Thank you guys. I love you.